Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're getting into something that I think everyone struggles with: productivity. Specifically, what happens when your motivation just completely runs out.
Yeah, and to really understand it, we've pulled from a few sources that look at it from, I think, three really crucial angles. First, this idea that motivation is really about the story you tell yourself. Then, the actual psychology of it, intrinsic versus extrinsic energy. And finally, how to build consistency that actually, works with you.
Okay, so let's start with that first one, the story. One of the sources really argues that the whole reason so many of us feel unmotivated is because our foundational narrative has broken down.
Exactly. For a long time, the story was simple, right? Work hard, put in the time, and you're pretty much guaranteed a better, more secure future.
A to B, super clear.
But now, with so much uncertainty in the world, that story, well, it just doesn't feel true for a lot of people anymore. And so the question becomes, what's the point?
And if you can't answer that, why would you sacrifice anything now for later that you don't even believe in?
You wouldn't. And that's the problem. For a new story to actually work, it has to do two things. First, it has to be believable, like actually believable to you in your current situation.
Okay.
And second, it has to inspire some hope. The belief that your actions, even small ones, can make tomorrow a little bit better.
So the story is the why, but you still need the fuel to actually get going. And that takes us from the big picture narrative right into the engine room, so to speak. Intrinsic versus extrinsic motivation.
Right. And psychologically, motivation is just,
Yeah.
it's the energy that drives you to start and maintain a behavior. Intrinsic is when you do it just because you enjoy the activity itself. Think about playing a video game or, working on a passion project.
The activity is the reward.
Precisely. And research shows that's the strongest predictor for sticking with something long term.
And extrinsic is the opposite. It's a means to an end, like filing paperwork to get a paycheck.
Or brushing your teeth to avoid a cavity. But this is where it gets really interesting. The sources highlight something called the over-justification effect.
I found this part fascinating. The military cadet study, where the ones motivated by both an internal drive and external rewards, they actually performed worse.
Yes. It's completely counterintuitive, isn't it? You would think more reasons to be motivated would be better.
So why does it backfire?
The theory is that the external reward, the money, the praise, it sort of dilutes your sense of self-determination. It makes something you chose to do feel like something you have to do.
Like when a fun hobby becomes a stressful job.
Exactly. The joy just starts to evaporate. But on the flip side, if a task is genuinely tedious like folding laundry,
The worst.
then adding a simple extrinsic reward, like promising yourself you can watch your favorite show after, that absolutely helps.
Okay, so we have the why from our story and the fuel from the right kind of drive. Now we need the how. We need consistency.
And the sources really challenge this myth that consistency means being perfect or showing up with 100% energy every single day.
It's more about just continuing to move forward even a tiny bit and knowing how to recover.
Yes, and the key is building an adaptable system. So first, you define your bare minimum for low energy days. And this has to be tiny.
Like replying to one email.
One single email. The goal is to avoid a 0 day. Then you implement tiers of consistency.
High, medium, and low energy.
Right. You plan your day for medium energy, maybe 3 key priorities. Then you adapt. If you wake up feeling great, you ramp up to high. If you're drained, you scale down to low without any guilt.
That feels so much more realistic. It also avoids that trap of code switching, that mental drain you get from jumping between wildly different tasks.
It's a huge energy waster. That's why batching tasks is so important. Do all your admin work in one block, all your creative work in another. Protect that focus.
So the big shift is from guilt to grace. It's not that you're broken, it's that your system is broken.
Exactly. Guilt just drains your battery. You have to fix the system and then celebrate the small wins. That little dopamine hit makes it easier to show up again tomorrow.
So to wrap it all up, lasting motivation isn't about willpower. It's about crafting a guiding, hopeful story.
And building an adaptable system that works with your actual energy flow.
That's it.
That's the core of it.
So a final thought for you to take away. If we know that long-term persistence is tied so closely to intrinsic enjoyment, think about one tedious task you're avoiding right now. What's one small intrinsic hack you could try today? Maybe putting on a great playlist or inviting a friend to work alongside you to make that task just a little more fun right here in the moment.